Hey everyone, Jack Keeper here, and in this video we're going to take a look at Modicia OS. And this is an OS that's, I believe, based on Ubuntu or Xubuntu. It has an Xfce desktop. This was brought to my attention by Alex. Thanks, Alex. This is a really interesting looking OS. And like I said, it's based on Ubuntu, I believe, LTS. And as you can see here on the website, this is an OS complete for professionals, and it appears to be geared towards professionals that take advantage of multimedia. So if we scroll down the website a little bit, we see that there's all kinds of info here related to Modicia, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This looks really interesting. And so if you go down the website, it'll tell you a ton of different things about it, but there's so much information here that to me it really looks like it's a lot easier just to get in there and download it. So here's the download link. Also, by the way, just for your reference, up here at the very top you can also just hit this little bookmark link and it'll take you directly to where we just were. So here's our download, and I'm going to go ahead and download. It looks like there's two links here. One is for the Ultimate LTS, and then there's one down here for the Italian language. So I think it's safe to assume that this is an Italian distro, and it even has a USB pen writer for Windows. So apparently that runs maybe on the wine layer. I'm going to go ahead and download this, and then I'll be right back and I'll load it into a VM. Okay, here we are in our live version. I got it loaded in my Virt Manager, and so here's our boot menu, and looks pretty nice right from the start. So I'm going to go ahead and hit live, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter here, and let's boot in and let's see what the live image looks like. Okay, and we're in our live environment, and this looks pretty cool right off the bat. It kind of looks like a cross between a Windows and a Mac here down here with the, and really nice looking bar. Very cool. Okay. So here's our live environment, and real quick I'm just going to click on the menu here, and as you can see, this is an Xfce, and we have our whisker menu here. I'm going to just jump in real quick and just bump up my resolution. There we go, way better. Alright, so wow, looks pretty intriguing already. And there's a lot of stuff down here it looks like is installed. The ISO was around 3 gigs, 3.2 give or take. I don't recall it right off the top of my head. Looks like we got a little conky here right in the middle of the desktop, and our RAM usage right now is about 1.16 gigs. I assigned about 4 gigs of RAM to this, so yeah, this is working about 30% of it, and our CPU is at 4 just here on idle. And I've noticed in my experience that when we're in a live install on a VM anyway, the RAM is a little bit higher usually than after you install. I don't really know why, but that seems to be the case with my experience. But yeah, right from the get-go, it looks like there's a lot of stuff here. It's kind of neat. So let's go ahead and install this. I'm going to just go through this stage really quick, because this is probably not anything different than we've seen a million times before all over the net. But I am curious to just see what their installer is like here. So here we go, and it looks like it's probably using the Calamares, I would say. I'm going to go ahead and stay with the default English and continue. Okay, and here's an option where it will download the updates while installing Modicia. So that sounds good. And third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware and additional media formats. I think I'm going to go ahead and check that, because it'll probably install some necessary codecs like MP3 and so forth. Yeah, if I was on a hardware machine, I would probably go with that as well. I think there's some legal reason why they have to have that unchecked by default. But I'm speculating too. Okay, next. Alright, and it's showing that there's no detected operating systems. So I'm going to go ahead with that. We'll go ahead and continue. And then we'll select our drive, 42.9. That sounds about right, what I gave it. So I'll go ahead and install. And then of course we have our disclaimer here. Are you sure you want to rewrite your disk? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, here's where we're going to set up our time zone. So that looks right. And then we'll just give it a name here. I guess I'll go with the standard Toadwick. And then choose a password. I'm probably going to use the same password that I use on all my secure accounts, which is Afghanistan Banana Stand, and all uppercase letters except for the 2 A's and banana. But don't tell anybody. It's our secret. Okay. And I guess I'll just keep it require password. I really could do login automatically, especially in this situation, but force a habit. So now it's going ahead and doing the file copy here and doing the install. So I'll go ahead and just pause the video and then I'll meet you back. Okay, now we're booted into our desktop and wow, it looks pretty nice already. We have a main menu up here on the top here, and then our panel bar, and then down here we got, which I think is probably Plank, and it looks very Mac-like. So we kind of got our Windows look up here and our Mac look down here. You know, that's kind of how I see it. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm taking a look at this now, and it is definitely Xfce. We got our whisker menu here. I would say it's probably based on Ubuntu LTS, and there's our CD, which I guess I didn't take out from our virtual machine, and that's a virtual CD, by the way. So up here it looks like we have quick access to like our different folders, like our video folder, pictures, music, documents, files, and then it looks like we have quick access to our desktop settings and our system settings. That's really nice. So if I hit desktop settings here, then we can see our wallpaper in the background. Lots of cool wallpaper. What to choose? So many choices. Wow. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. And it's even got the Modicia OS 20.144 on it. Yeah, nice. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'll go with that. And then a lot of our basic stuff that we typically see here in Xfce, really great. And here's where we can set our default icons. So if I wanted a home folder in here, just click that and there it shows up. And then our file system, we can have our trash on the desktop. By default it's not there, probably because we got it down here in the Plank menu. But if you were somebody that didn't like the Plank menu, you could just click this and put the trash up on the desktop and make it more Windows-like. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. So far, first impression is really great. And we got a lot of stuff down here on the Plank bar by default. Our show desktop, slings cold. Don't really have any clue what that is. Maybe I'll click on it just to see what it is. Okay, well I guess that's like a menu. Wow, full screen menu. This is really cool. And it's got categories up here on top. Wow, okay, totally wasn't expecting that. Nice. This is nice. I like this. How cool is that? And if you just click off in the middle of nowhere, then it'll disappear. But that is cool. I might use that to explore our apps. Then we have a screenshot utility, a USB stick formatter, LAN share. So I'm assuming that you can access shared servers with it and so forth. So it's probably got like Samba set up by default. That's really nice. So you can connect to a Windows network, like if you're in a workplace. So very nice. System monitor, Stacer, very cool. Yeah, mail reader, web browser, XNView multi-platform, GNU manipulation program, that's GIMP. And then Raw therapy, that's kind of interesting. I think that's a photo manipulation program. Never used it, but it looks, you know, I've heard that it's fairly sophisticated. Cain Live, AVI Demux, another video editing program. And then we have Audacity for audio editing. Nice. Blue Griffin, wow, that's a HTML editor. That's cool. Huh. And that's also got a WYSIWYG in it, so you can visually build web pages as well as using code. So that's nice. FileZilla, which is an FTP client. Master PDF editor 4. Whoa, nice. That's the free PDF editor, which is really great if you want to edit PDF files. Wonderful features in Master PDF for sure. And then we got LibreOffice. Really cool. And also the dustbin, where you can put all your trash. Nice. All right. So, boy, where to start? This is cool. I'm loving it already. Well, oh, and what are these? Up here in the upper left corner, we got our search tool. So you've got instant search to, I'm assuming, files and items on your desktop. So I'll just kind of let that do its thing. Okay, yeah. So I think if you're just looking for an app like Inkscape, it'll show you all the locations where it's at. Well, that's nice. That's really convenient. So if you're trying to locate a file for one reason or another, I just pop it into this F-search and you got quick access. Very cool. Nice. And then our next thing, kill an application. So if something locks up on you or you have some kind of issue, you got instant access to just hitting this guy. The keyboard shortcut actually would be Control Alt Escape, and you'll get the little skull and crossbones, and then you just move that skull and crossbones over the app that's misbehaving and it will terminate it for you. I like that. I've never seen that in the panel before. That's cool. Instant access to HTOP. Let's take a look. Wow, pretty modified terminal there too. I like how they got that decked out. 853 megs. Wow, very nice. See, that is a lot less resources than what was in the live version. If you remember right, in the live version it was somewhere around 1.16, I think, or 1.2. So it's a big difference when you actually get the install and then you run HTOP again. A lot less resources. Not really sure why it shows more in the live CD, but it does for some reason. So that's nice to know. Very resource friendly. Not using that much at all, especially, you know, considering that I'm in a VM and all that. And then we got desktop expose. I think that's the same as show desktop. Okay, it's showing all the different desktops. There's 3 desktops here on here. So looks like that's just a really quick way to get to your different desktops. If you just want to kind of see everything, and then you kind of got your quick menu over here. Very nice. And this menu seems to have more things on it. Wow, translator, very cool. Speech to write, that's impressive. Now that's something I wasn't expecting. So apparently you can dictate on here, and I'm opening this up to see what's up with it. So we got a voice notepad here, speech to text with Google Speech Recognition. Wow, okay. And you can even do it in your language. Wow, okay. That's really neat. I don't think my mic is actually hooked up in here, but let's give it a try. So I'm going to click this. Dictation wants to use your microphone. Let's allow it. Hi there. This is a dictation test. Wow, it's actually working. Exclamation point. Whoops. Okay, I guess you can't use exclamation point. And it's still writing down everything I'm saying. But this is really cool. Okay, well, that's something that caught me totally by surprise. I really like this. This is neat. All right. Well, there's something right there, Modicia. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the microphone. Okay, got the mic off now, and that is just too cool. That's something I haven't seen hardwired right into a distro either, is quick access to that. Very cool. So this desktop expose lets you see all windows and the desktop, plus this little extra menu here, which I didn't know about. So we got that translator, image search, AirMore. AirMore is probably kind of like KDE Connect on a Plasma. I think that allows you to connect to like an Android phone, maybe an iOS, I don't know. Then we got pzip, that's pretty handy, especially if you're dealing with rare files. File light, time shift, excellent. Upgrade the kernel and update. Wow. Let's take a quick look at that. I guess you can't really access that from there. Well, no big deal. Didn't want to upgrade it anyway. And then we got Duco, which I can't remember what that is. Ducto, I mean, not Duco. Okay, so that might be like a intranet chat where you can kind of chat with other people on your network, I'm thinking. That's what it looks like. So yeah, there's my IP address, and I think that's what that is. I think you can chat with other people on your network. Again, if you're like in a work environment setting, or the boss can use it to bring up something on the employee's terminal that says, "Get to work, ya bum. I see a gold brickin'." So there's an incentive for an employee to use this OS. Nice. And then of course we have our main whisker menu here. So let's explore these things a little bit, but let's do it through this cool menu. Not that the whisker menu is not cool, because it is. But I think this is kind of next level cool. We got all our apps here, and then we can go by category. Let's start with the Modicia. We got our welcome screen here, Modicia user manual, that's handy. OS home, so that's probably a link to their website. Community and news, info, more community support, that's very cool. Assistance with annual subscription, so you can get premium support through Modicia. I would think that if you were using this like in a professional environment, that would probably be worth it for a lot of scenarios where you don't have IT people available that could really maybe solve an issue, and they don't want to invest the time into scouring the forums to figure out what's going on. Resilio sync and web interface, not sure what those are, but it's probably something cool, maybe a cloud-based repository of some sort. Maybe you can sync your settings with or something. Might be worth looking into sometime. Then we have our accessories. Wow, just so many things on here. Convert all, that's a unit converter. That's very handy. I don't know how many times I've gone out to Google and wanted to convert millimeters to inches or whatever, centimeters. Our disk usage, so that's cool. The terminal console. Wow. Nice. And of course my disk is relatively small on here because, well, it's a VM and I made it small. It's like 40 gigs, I think, which is not really that small. Our CPU usage, again, that'll pop up in the terminal. You can see your IP address in the terminal. So there's a lot of really shortcut terminal commands that will come up right here. This is cool. System stress control. Fascinating. Monitor disk, write and read. Wow, there you go. Maps. I would say that's probably going to Google Maps. That's neat. Haven't seen that either before. Application Finder, always handy. A Mac user could probably think of that like a Finder. A run program prompt where you could manually type in a program. That's probably kind of like Redshift. You can decrease the blue in your monitor, which is easier on the eyes. Network use. Yeah, okay. All kinds of utilities. Google Earth. That's very cool. I would say that probably goes to the web-based. Translator. Nice. Probably going to Google Translate. I guess I'll just click on it real quick just to verify that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure most of these services in here are probably using Google services and taking advantage of them, which I think is really smart. That really enhances the experience for the user and gives you a lot of access. I also noticed that up here we have the, I forgot what they call that menu, universal menu, I think, that appears here when you open an app. So we got our file edit view. I've only seen that in KDE, in Plasma. So to see it on an Xfce spin, that's kind of cool. I gotta admit, that's the first time I've seen that on an Xfce spin. So nice. I mean, you Xfce users out there would probably be like, what? That's the first time you saw it? Come on, man. That's been around since 200 BC. But yeah, first time I've seen it on Xfce. Or maybe you've noticed it, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, Google services. And we got our image writer, formatter, all trays. Character map. Wow, character map. Nice. That kind of takes me back to the Windows days. And that's pretty handy. I know when I was making web pages and programming, you know, character maps can kind of come in handy sometimes. Especially if you need access to some upper ASCII character or some funky thing like that. Very cool. And so let's pop on into graphics. We got Imagination, Slideshow Maker, nice. We got Krita on here, which is a great graphic, just like GIMP. Krita is a little different than GIMP, but they do a lot of the same things. Krita might be a little bit better in the drawing department. XN Retro, create retro image. Wow, that's cool. So I'm assuming you can probably take an image and kind of make it look like an old photograph, maybe. Not familiar with it, but it's cool. You can sketch. That's the sketch app here. There's GIMP, XN View, which is a picture viewer, Raw Therapy, an advanced raw photo development program. Interesting. We got Inkscape, one of my favorites for making all kinds of things. Luminance HDR is a GUI used to create tone map HDR images. Yeah, I can see why it's kind of geared towards professionals. A lot of very heavily multimedia oriented, it seems. Photo collage, tool to make photo collage posters from multiple images. Photo mosaic, peak. You can make short animated GIFs capturing things on your screen. That's very handy, especially if you're making some type of explainer. Ebook viewer, nice. All the major formats. An LRF viewer, which is a Sony ebook format. Then we got Scribus, which is great if you're into publishing things. Oh, man. And Gthumb to view and organize your images. Nice. And under internet, we have what's up, Netflix. Wow, Spotify, neat. Skype. Then we got network control, Lin SSD, find wireless, access points, attach points. Wow, probably like Wireshark. UGET, QBitTorrent, Telegram, FileZilla, our FTP, Blue Griffin, Web Album Generator. Nice, HTML generator for web albums. Web albums. Wow, hard to say. Rocket Cake. Complete web and EPUB editor. Wow. So if you're into making your own ebooks and selling them on Amazon or whatever, you're all set with Rocket Cake. Then you got Google Chrome, the actual Google Chrome. Wow. AnyDesk. Very cool. Then multimedia. professional document scanner, animated PNG. Maybe that's, animated PNG. Wow. Let's check that out real quick. I think you can make animated PNG files as opposed to animated GIFs. And the difference would be with an animated PNG, you got full 16 million colors, whatever, you know, as opposed to an animated GIF, which is limited to 256. So that's kind of cool. Wow. Yeah, so I guess this is a utility for making animated PNGs. Never used it before, so I'm not 100% sure how you make it. I would guess that you probably would take like a short video, and then you would load it into something like GIMP and then save it as a photo set, and then you would load all those individual PNG files back into here, and then it would create a animated PNG file. And then our animated GIF Maker, of course, which is probably like Peak, and our Pulse CD burner, Audacious, you know, music app, audio recorder, cool, simple screen recorder, that's always nice. Cheese, which is like a webcam app, and there's our Peak, record short animated GIFs from your screen. I think the difference between this and the other one, animated GIF, is probably a different type of utility where you can maybe edit them as well, I'm guessing. Then we got celluloid, play movies and videos, get technical info on media, VLC player, Delirious. So if you're like me and you're delirious all the time, then this will fit right in. No, I'm kidding. Don't really know what that is, actually, Delirious. And curfew, multimedia converter, DVD styler if you're into making your DVDs and you want them to look really cool. It's an authoring system. And Xfce, which is, I think, another media player. And then under video, we got DCP, digital cinema packages. Don't know what that is. MistyQ, multi-video converter. Wow, virtual dub. That's neat. I remember using that in Windows back in the day. A little complicated, but you could do a lot with it. I bet that's probably running with Wine. Then we got AVI Demux, video editor. Cain Live, nice. Xmedia Recode, nice. I think that's a transcoder. And then we got bitrate calculator. That would probably be handy with virtual dub. And then Handbrake, which is a nice transcoder for DVDs, Blu-ray, and all that other good stuff. Let's see what this is real quick. My curiosity's getting the best of me. So here we got DCP-O-Matic. So yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm still not really sure what it does. But it looks like it's something that you can edit media files with and do stuff. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, I'm still not really sure what it is. Maybe you can put videos in containers, like if you're making MKV files, like there's MKV toolniks, and they have the GUI for MKV toolniks where you can easily make MKV files and encode information into them, like subtitles and all that. Maybe it's kind of similar, but I could be totally wrong. Somebody that's familiar with this app could probably leave a comment in there and say, oh no, this is what it's really for. So nice. Yeah. So that's our video stuff. Cain Live. You know, being that this is based on the LTS kernel, a lot of these apps in here are probably older apps, I would guess. Let's just see what version of Cain. Wow, 20.12.2. That's actually the latest version as of the time of this video. So that impresses me. I didn't think that was going to be the latest version, but it is. Okay, well, I'm impressed again. Then we come into Office, and then, you know, some of the things we saw before, speech to write, master PDF editor. Then we have our LibreOffice stuff. I bet LibreOffice, though, that's probably not going to be the latest. The latest LibreOffice, I believe, is 7.1. And I'd be really surprised. Yeah, 6.4. So that's an older version. I remember back in my Ubuntu days, LibreOffice was always behind in the repositories. That's kind of expected. And so there we go. And I'm sure that's probably for stability reasons. So there's a lot of situations where stability really needs to come first, especially if you're using this like in a professional environment, or if you're setting it up for your friends, your parents, somebody that's not really computer literate and you don't want to go and support it all the time, then it's always a smart idea to have something stable. It doesn't always have to be the latest and greatest, like in an Arch distro. So there's a lot of good reasons for not always being cutting edge. And that's a good thing to keep in mind. Alright, so our Office stuff looks really complete here. We even have Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, so that's going to the online app. So you actually got links here to your Microsoft Online account if you have Office Online. So that's cool. And Office Online is actually free. There's a limited version you can use online, and I don't think you can save files over a certain size. Like an Excel file can't be over so many kilobytes, I think. And so they're pretty small, so you can't have huge documents, but you can make documents as long as they're under a certain size. And then we have Microsoft OneDrive, nice. Ebook editor, Calibre, that's a really nice suite. And then we have 2 down here, so we actually got another part here. So Evolution email client, which is a nice email client, looks a lot like Outlook, so people would be comfortable there. And then Launch Evolution is a system tray icon, so you can have it down in your tray. Nice, okay. And so let's back over to tab 1. And let's see, then we have System, of course, which is our kind of our system utilities. And we have our package manager, gparted, which is a partition manager, Gigolo, simple front end to easily connect to remote file systems, nice. Task manager, so you can bring that up if you need to see your stuff, see how much resources things are using. So always handy. Okay, so a lot of standard things in here, and you got time shift, which is always great. HTOP, monitor data on your solid state drives. Let's take a look at Synaptic real quick. I haven't seen that in a long time. And that looks like maybe something semi-benign. So here we have access to different, if you don't want to use the terminal and using the apt-get, here we can go and find applications. So if I wanted to look for something like, I'll just put Inkscape. Then it'll come up here and give you Inkscape. And it'll allow you to install it, except it's already installed. So the Synaptic Manager looks like it's working great. And under audio, we got all our audio stuff. Audacity, Carla, which is an audio plugin control of some sort, and Jammin, Jack Auto Mastering Interface. This is really cool. If you're into really audio editing, LMMS is a very, very sophisticated music production software. That's really great. We got Mix, digital DJ interface, nice. If you have this on a laptop, you can be a DJ. Q-Jack Kit, Q-Synth, wow, a synthesizer with a GUI interface. Sound converter, sound juicer, copy music from your CDs, cool. Transcoder, Yoshimi real-time synthesizer, This is too cool. And Terminator X, a DJ scratching and mixing application. Yes. And then we got our accessories here. We got AirMore, which allows you to connect to your Android. That's very cool via Wi-Fi. And we got BleachBit. See Matrix? Let's try that. Whoa, we've entered the Matrix. Nice. That's cool. I wonder how you get out of it. Clicking doesn't work. How about right click? There we go. Close. Nice. Yeah, I just had to do that. I couldn't resist. So yeah, I'm using my mouse wheel to scroll down, so you can scroll down instead of using the 2 down here. We got wine tricks, and some of this we've seen already. Translator, the waterfall. View all characters of font and all sizes. Interesting. And then this is Slings Cold, which is our menu we're looking at right now. Screenshot software, screensaver properties, screensaver. Nice. Lucky backup. That's very cool. If the backup works, you're lucky. That's why they call it Lucky Backup. No, I'm kidding. Actually, it's a great software. And Lucky Backup, you can never have too many backups. And I've used a Lucky Backup before. It works really nice, easy to use, and very dependable. I was just kidding about the Lucky thing. Maps. So Google Maps, our disk monitor, IP address. So we've kind of seen this already. On to education. There's our converter to convert units. Always good. Graphics, we were there. And so yeah, I think we've covered it all. And there's our chat there for intranets, I think. And Tilix. So wow, okay, we kind of got through everything. A tiling terminal for GNOME. Wow, very cool. Okay, so those are our stuff. Of course, we also got access to our settings right here. And these are pretty standard, I think, for what you'd see in an Xfce setup. Our desktop and appearance and all that. So here we could set our theming. And it looks like we got Queen Teodolinda. Never heard of that. But that seems to be the theme that's being used right here. And we're using the Queen icon set, which kind of goes with it, I think. So yeah, looking good. And all the access that you need here. Additional drivers. So if you need proprietary drivers and so forth, there you go. Color profiles, display, removable drives, printers, power manager. It's got it all. Customize your boot up. And the boot up was really nice too. It had a really nice splash screen while booting up. Very professional looking. Samba configuration. Yeah, very cool. Using OpenJDK 8. Our backup configs, that's all good. So in our wine, got access to wine tricks and the wine settings. You can uninstall it. App image updates. Update your kernel. Not really quite sure why that didn't work before. I'm going to try that from here. Yeah, so apparently it has something to do with the sources list. But being LTS, I guess most people wouldn't want to upgrade that or update it anyway. Kind of defeats the purpose of being LTS, in my opinion. Software Center, let's take a quick look. Wow, that's nice. I like how they got this laid out. Yeah, Albert. Agnostic launcher. Can launch it or remove it. So that's already installed. These are probably apps. I'm not real familiar with this software viewer here, but I'm thinking it's probably showing you stuff that's already installed on your system. So this is really nice. A very good visual representation of what you got. Very cool. All right. Even has a spot to make a donation. So making a donation to support their development is probably a very worthwhile contribution, especially if you're using this every day and you're benefiting from it, and you maybe have professionals in your line too. Either way, it's always a worthwhile cause to help out the devs. All right, so I think we covered everything on here. So now I'm going to give you my impression. Even though I am an Arch user, because I like Arch, I just kind of gravitate towards this. This is really an impressive desktop. I can see where there are a lot of scenarios where people would want to use this, whether you're an employer or whether you're just somebody that wants something dependable and stable, or if you're really into graphics, sound production and all that, you're pretty much set very well. If you need something stable and dependable, this looks like something that would really fit the bill. I can see where somebody would use a desktop like this and probably have very little issues. Would I install it on a computer somewhere and use it? Probably, if I had a need for it. Like I said, I don't usually gravitate towards Debian type installs just because I just favor Arch distros. I like having access to the AUR, which really has everything in the world that you can think of. However, you don't always need to have those different things. There's a lot of scenarios where something like this would be absolutely perfect. And if you are somebody that kind of favors Debian type distros anyways, this is something I think a lot of people would really enjoy. I think it's a very fun distro, and I'm probably going to stick it on a laptop somewhere, and I might even recommend this to friends and family. I'm going to keep this on my VM and just work with it for a while. Just kind of play with it, and like I said, I might install it on a laptop and just test it for a month or two and just see how it goes. Because really that's the best way to really know a system, is to kind of immerse yourself into it and use it for a while. Just see what kind of issues pop up, if any, and you get the feel of the flow. If it's something that really works for you, you'll know within the first few days to couple weeks. That's something I always recommend if you want to seriously consider using a distro, is to just get right in there and use it and just interact with it for a couple weeks and see how it goes. And after a while, if you find little quirks that just really get to you and you think they're a deal killer, then you can just ditch it and do something else. That's the beauty of Linux, is you got choices everywhere. And so what's great for one guy is awful for someone else. And this is something here that I can see people would have very little complaints about. I think a lot of people would love this. So I'm going to give this my double thumbs up. There were a lot of surprises in this distro that I didn't expect, and they were pleasant surprises. So I like pleasant surprises when I evaluate a distro. And this was full of them. So that double thumbs up was well earned. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful. And if so, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It's always appreciated. And hit subscribe. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.